All right, hello everybody, and we are at our final meeting for the course. 7 weeks come and gone, and here we are at the end. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen, and what I'm going to be talking about today focuses pretty much around our final assignment for the class, the project we've been talking about the whole time. And I know I've given you this information back in week 4, but I'm going to go over it one more time with you just to make sure that we have it all. But as we kind of move forward here, let's take a look at things. So reflections from week 6. I guess the main thing I'm kind of honing in on right now is hopefully you have been writing your final paper. As I mentioned last week, it was really important for you to go ahead and get started with that. And I know that you had discussion posts and things like that to do as well. But so you're not trying to cram a 10 to 15 page paper in 1 week. I wanted you to go ahead and start writing in advance, so hopefully you were able to do that. I've actually had a couple people already submit their assignments. I'm going to tell you why that's a good thing here in just a minute for everybody else to try to think about submitting early as well. All right, so this week, no discussion posts that you have to do, so you need to focus solely in on your final assignment. That's really great news. As this course has changed from a 5-week to a 7-week program, it's good to see that this is how St. Thomas set that up. So no discussion posts this week for you. All right, so let's get into, oh, that says week 5, it should say week 7, how I want you to create your research paper. Okay, so, oh, I'm sorry, that's a bad slide. That should go away. We'll get rid of that. Let's just jump right over here. Here we go. So your basic structure on this is going to be, you're gonna have a title page, you'll have an abstract page, you'll have your content body, and then you'll have your reference list. You have built a lot of this already. You've already built your title page. Now your title page, the title of this paper should be your research question. You should already have a title page that you use with your research question for the week 5 assignment and the week 6 assignment. So that shouldn't be a major thing. The only thing you need to be shifting on that is just the date. All right, so that page is good to go. Abstract page. You know, you complete your week 6 problem statements and your problem statement and your purpose statement. You're going to be able to use that language to be able to build your abstract page. I'm not saying just cut and paste. You're going to need to build that out a little bit more, but that's going to be your basis for it. You'll be able to use a lot of that language. I don't want you, I really want to specify, I'm not looking for you simply to just copy and paste your week 6 assignment and make that your abstract page. You have to tweak it a little bit, but you can use a lot of that same language, okay? Then we get into the content body. So when I talk about a 10 to 15 page assignment, I'm talking about your content body itself needs to be 10 to 15 pages. That does not count your title page, your abstract page, and the pages used for your reference list. So if you submit a paper that the content body is only, say, 8 pages, you're not going to be able to get full credit for it. It needs to be at least 10 pages, no more than 15. And then you have your reference list, which you also should already have completed. You did that back in week 5. That should have your 20 references, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You may have had to add a little bit more or even possibly delete a little bit as you wrote your paper, but we'll go back through that one more time. But this is your basic structure. And so, you know, how do you know that you're doing a great job? Well, make sure that you do all those basic things that you should be doing when you proofread. Watch for improper grammar, punctuation errors, misspellings, and really important, make sure you incorporate those 20 different scholarly resources from the past 5 years, at least, in your paper. All right, and you have completed your outline, so you should be using your outline as the guide as you write. And as I mentioned before, you may find as you're in the middle of writing that, hey, this isn't going along perfectly with what I want to do with my outline. I don't need that piece after all. I need to add a piece. That's fine. I expect it to match up with about 80% accuracy. It doesn't have to be 100%. Okay, so one more time on your title page. Your title should be your research question. If you don't make it your research question, you're going to lose points for it. So this is about the 5th time I've mentioned this, so you should have that piece down pat. Your abstract page should be just 1 page in length, at least 2 paragraphs, and you want to really hone in on the information from your problem statement and your purpose statement assignment from week 6. Now, your final research paper. Remember, this is a research paper on public policy issues. So as you look at these pieces here, which really make up your rubric, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to be able to take your topic as a public policy issue and break it down for me. Why is it important? Who are the people that are involved in it? what are the solutions that have been proposed in the past, and why didn't they work, or why did they only partially work, or why did they work and now they're not working anymore, any of those sorts of things. And then what can we do to make it better, all right? And all of this has to be supported through scholarly research. So I keep saying research paper because this is all about the scholarly research that's out there. If you're writing a paragraph and you haven't put in any type of scholarly evidence, you're not doing a good job with this, okay? You should have lots of it throughout. It should be playing a major part in this paper. So you may remember these examples from week 4, but I want to go through them one more time in case we had some people that either missed it or weren't feeling good that day or just didn't pay attention. But take a look at this first example, and I realize that you'll probably have to pause this as you read through and whatnot, and that's okay. But the big thing that stands out, should stand out first of all, is that this is a massive paragraph. It's gigantic. It takes up the whole page. And one paragraph shouldn't do that. So we've got obviously some issues with formatting. But the next thing that really should stand out here is that there is zero scholarly evidence in here. This is a lot of opinion that seems to be stated as fact. But without scholarly evidence, it's just opinion. And it really makes the reader doubt whether the information that he or she is receiving is accurate in the long run. So be really careful about that as you write. Look at this example here too. Once again, no scholarly evidence, but look at some of the comments that are in here. It is wrong to fall asleep on duty, but sometimes the exhaustion from long hours, officers' work, combined with other factors such as medication that may cause fatigue and other side effects. Terrible sentence. But the bigger issue here is that maybe this is accurate information, but where is the scholarly evidence to actually back it up? Because what we're really looking at here is an opinion. Okay, we don't see anything that's telling us that this is factual. So a lot of the information you read in here, you could probably take as opinion-based, and that's a problem in a research paper. And this last one here, there we go. Most people that work in the union have worked in the public sector and at the public job they represent. So when I see phrases like most people or some researchers or the data states, and there is no scholarly evidence to back that up, what it's telling me is somebody's being lazy and they're just trying to pose opinion or common sense as fact. All right, so I'm going to be watching out for phrases like most people or the research states or researchers have said, and then there's no type of scholarly evidence. And when I see that, my response to it is going to be according to whom. And right off the bat, that's telling me that this was based off of opinion and not off of fact. So be real careful. So if we look at this example here, right off the bat, I see, boom, lots of research in there, okay? In this one paragraph, I'm seeing 2 different sources cited. And sometimes you'll even get more than that in one paragraph, and that's great. But as you see in here, that there are comments that could be looked at as opinion. It's essential to develop better utilization and understanding of best practices. But anything that's written in here is supported by scholarly evidence. And that's what we're really looking for in the research paper. So keep this paragraph in mind as you write, that you really want to strive to have those scholarly citations embedded throughout your entire paper. There shouldn't be a paragraph that goes without some sort of cite source. All right, so reference page. So you did your reference page back in week 5. It was should have been alphabetized by the author's last name, should have all 20 of your scholarly references from the past 5 years. If you're one of those people that did not get 20, you need to make sure you have at least 20. Now you can have more than that, and you can have resources from beyond the past 5 years. But you have to have at least 20 from the past 5 years. And as you're doing your reference list, go back and check. Have I overcapitalized any of my reference titles? Have I embedded hyperlinks on accident? Do I have the publisher name, city, and state if I'm doing a book? Do I have the correct author information? Am I just doing their last name with their first and middle initials, or am I trying to spell out their whole name? Those types of things are the things that people have lost points for. Don't let that happen to you. Take the time to review. So as you're doing this, keep in mind a couple things, that your paper itself will align with your week 5 outline up to 80% or at least 80% accuracy. Stay objective. I don't want you to write things that says, well, I believe, or as an educator, I saw, and no first-person references. All of your, and that really hasn't been a problem in this class, so I'm not really anticipating it for this assignment. Every claim that you make should be supported by research. So if you're going to put most people state, you better be ready to back that up immediately with some scholarly evidence. Stay on your topic. Now, you did your outline. As long as your outline was approved by me, then you're going to be in good shape because you're staying on topic, you're making good transitions, you've got scholarly evidence ready to go for each subsection. I've got a few people who still have not completed their outline. If you don't have your outline completed, you need to get that turned in. How are you supposed to write if you don't know you're writing the right things? Remember, scholarly evidence, big part of your paper, huge part of your paper. When you get to your conclusion of your paper should still have scholarly evidence. It's a conclusion, it's not an editorial. If you're not writing scholarly evidence, it's an editorial. And remember, everything needs to be in APA 6th edition. So the reason why I mentioned at the beginning of this session about the submitting it early is because for some folks who may have struggled with some of their writing during the class, this is going to be something that you probably want to take advantage of. This particular assignment is a large grade in the course. It can make a huge difference for some folks. And so you want to be able to put your best foot forward on this, make sure you get the most points possible. And so with that in mind, normally if you submitted something to me and you didn't do a really great job, I would submit it back to you and tell you to revise and resubmit by a certain date. All right. These papers are humongous and they're going to take some time to grade, so that opportunity is not going to be there for you unless you submit it early. So if you submit your final research paper that is completed, I don't want you to submit me something and go, well, it's about halfway done. Go ahead and take a look at it. Now, the whole thing needs to be completed and submitted to me by noon Central Standard Time this Friday. If you do it by then, you're guaranteed the opportunity to revise and resubmit your paper prior to the course ending. Okay, that means that I will grade your paper and get it back to you so that way you will have time to fix it up and resubmit it before the course is over. Now, the course ends this Sunday and that's when the paper's due. So if you don't take advantage of this early opportunity to submit, your assignment's still due on Sunday and there is no opportunity after that to submit it late. It is due Sunday, and that's it. After that point, I plan on grading papers and posting grades by Monday. So if you're one of my folks who have had a lot of late papers, you're not going to have that opportunity to be able to submit it late. If you don't get it in by Sunday, you won't be able to get credit for it. And if you don't get credit for it, you're not going to be able to pass the class. So I just want to be straight up and forward with everybody on that. So anything, if you've got late papers, anything that you need to submit for credit needs to be submitted by this Sunday or you will not receive a grade for it. There are no exceptions to this. So please keep that in mind that all assignments are due by Sunday. And that's it. So you know the deal. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to shoot me an email. Let me know what's going on. Hopefully you've got everything caught up and you're ready to go. I've got a few of you who have some missing things that I will probably shoot some emails to. But I want to see how everybody does tonight as we finish up our discussion posts and our assignment for week 6. So good luck out there this week. If you have any questions as you're moving along, please let me know. Otherwise, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for this past 7 weeks and good luck moving forward. I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.